Hello there guys, this is Solid Shepard bringing you another video, and today we are talking about Baal. But more specifically, in my opinion, why it is that you do not need a C6 Baal. So in today's video, we're talking about the Raiden Shogun Baal, but more importantly, why I believe that well, let's not talk about that yet. Let's get into it. Constellations. Baal's Constellations. What constellation should you go to for Baal, right? So Baal is someone who has made a lot of people who were light spenders or whales or free to play want to spend money, not be that anymore, right? She's an Archon. We saw what happened with Zhongli, and we saw what happened with Venti. People generally will want her, but it's like, how many of her do you need, right? How many of her, like, should I go ahead and just dive all the way in and get her to C6, or do any of her constellations really even matter? We're going to kind of get into that here in this video. Remember, this is my opinion, this is my view on this. But I think I have a pretty strong case. Alright, Ominous Inscription. We have the chakras that will gather resolve even faster. When Electro characters use their elemental bursts, the resolve gained is increased by 80%. So that's Electro types, 80%. When characters of other elemental types use their elemental bursts, the resolve gained is increased by 20%. So not as huge as 80, but at least still there's a bonus there, there's a benefit. So in order to understand what this constellation does, you need to go over to find out what these chakras are. And I'm going to try and use like butchered or like special names for these, because a lot of these words I mess up on. A lot of these names I had to create names of my own, because I just can't say them, dude. Like, okay, so these chakras are right here. When nearby party members, excluding the Raiden Shogun herself, use their elemental bursts, the Raiden Shogun will build up resolve stacks based on the energy cost of these elemental bursts. The maximum number of resolve stacks is 60. The resolve gained by the chakras will be cleared 300 seconds after the Raiden Shogun leaves the field. So, why that constellation is good and you want it, right? You want that. It makes them, when Electro characters use their elemental burst, the resolve gained by the Raiden Shogun is increased by 80%, and others is 20%. So it allows her to build that up a lot faster. It accelerates it. It makes her better. It makes her substantially better of a character. So you do want that one, okay? You do want Ominous Inscription. Now let's go to Steelbreaker. And I'm not going to make this case just because I have these two constellations, okay? I went after these two constellations because of the case I'm making. So, on this one, we have the Secret Art. I'm just going to call this one the Secret Art, because Muso Shinsetsu. I probably said that wrong. You don't want to hear that, so I'm going to go with the Secret Art. And Muso no Hitu Hatachi. Yeah, no. Anyways, Secret Art and that attacks will ignore 60% of opponent's defense. It's pretty big. That makes her do a lot more damage. It's a pretty big deal. So these two, like, you're like, okay, constellations are important. I better wail on her and get her to C6, right? Hold your horses. Let's go to the next one. Shinkage Bygones. Increases the level of Secret Art by 3. Maximum upgrade is level 15. Not really important. It's a fast track if you're a whale. It's a fast track, right? So it's, whatever. You get something out of it. But these are something that you can just you can farm mats, materials in the game, and you can increase them just by playing the game. You don't need a dupe. Right? You don't need a dupe to increase the level of this skill, of this ability. So let's go to the next one. Pledge of Propriety. I almost messed that word up, even though I know how to say it. Pledge of there we go. I messed it up. Pledge of propriety. When the that state applied by secret art expires, all nearby party members. So Booba Sword. You could also call it Booba Sword. When the Booba Sword expires, all nearby party members, excluding the Raiden Shogun, gain a 30% attack bonus for 10 seconds. Now, 30% is decent. 10 seconds. It's not like a really long, but it's not really short either. You know, you can get some done, especially with her energy cooldown. It could be all you need for them to be out there. So basically, when you're waiting for her stuff to come back, you can go do the rotation of the other characters, all right, and start using their abilities, and basically they can do more damage. That's the idea. But I mean, really, you can power up characters' attack. Like there's items you can do it with. There's ways you can do it without this. Really, if you get all the artifacts to really help characters with percentages and bonus attacks, obviously this bonus 30% on top of that is beneficial. It's a big deal, right? But it's not really game breaking. It's not going to break the game. And if you're wanting your Raiden Shogun to be your carry, you don't want... It doesn't buff her. It buffs the others, right? Now, I get it, right? Because in her abilities, it benefits to have other characters come through and do their attacks, right? It's the way her kit's kind of set up. But if you want to do a main carry, this really of Raiden Shogun, this really isn't benefiting you. And if you are trying to play her the way you're supposed to be played, you do get a benefit, but I don't think it's as substantial as these first two, right? So you got to ask yourself, for that bonus 30% attack when you're switching characters that will not apply to the Raiden Shogun herself, is that really worth pulling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? The money you'd have to spend to pull 5 Raiden Shoguns. Okay? And then when you get your 5th Raiden Shogun, you can get a Constellation level 5. And Constellation level 5 is another level increase to abilities. Which, as with the previous one, you can do that just by playing the game. And then finally, C6, the maxed out one, Wishbearer. While in the Booba Sword state, applied by Secret Art, attacks by the Raiden Shogun that are considered part of her elemental burst will decrease all nearby party members, not including the Raiden Shogun herself, elemental burst cooldown by 1 second when they hit opponents. This effect can trigger once every 1 second. It can trigger a total of 5 times during the duration. So during this duration, you can click to other characters, and basically you can, if you can get the hits in, you can decrease their cooldown for their abilities, because energy recharge and cooldown are 2 different things. You can decrease their cooldown up to a maximum of 5 seconds, which is decent, right? Pretty good, actually. Depending, in some, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think some characters you could almost just skip the cooldown entirely, really. But is it worth the money you would have to spend to pull 7 Raiden Shoguns? Right. So, really, I mean, this doesn't apply to whales. Whales are gonna whale. They're gonna get the characters. The people who this is really applying to are just people who are more selective with their spending in the game, and they're just kind of if you don't plan on C6ing every single character when it comes out, this applies to you, right? And really, what you want to do is get these 2, right? These 2 instantly make her, theoretically, because I haven't leveled her up yet, I haven't got to play with her, but theoretically looking at it, these 2 make her almost god tier. And then, so if you plan on spending some money on this mana, right? I don't recommend trying to go C6. She'll be better if you go C6, sure, but it's not worth it. And you can get most of what you're getting out of her are coming from these two right here. You're kind of getting a benefit here, but it's like support. It's a support constellation. And then this is a support constellation. They're good, but they're not necessarily making her more powerful. It's helping her make other people better on the team. But these two right here are what you want. These are the two you want. So really the best thing you could do if you're planning on spending money, you want to get her like as good as you can for you without breaking the bank. Here's what I suggest. Get her C2. Okay? Get these two constellations. And then the rest of the money that you plan on spending, get Engulfing Lightning. Because Engulfing Lightning, let's look at it. Timeless Dream, Eternal Stove, attack increased by 28% of energy recharge. So we know how important energy recharge and cooldowns and all that are for her kit. This feeds right into that. Like, you're already doing that to make her good, and that's going to make the weapon insane too, right? So energy recharge over the base 100%. You can gain a maximum bonus of 80% attack. And obviously this would go up with refinement ranks and all that. Gain 30% energy recharge for 12 seconds after using an elemental burst. So once you use elemental burst, which is really important to this character, I mean, really it's really important to any character, but you know what I mean. It's providing more energy recharge. So this is providing energy recharge. On top of the other energy recharge stuff you're already looking at. Giving you extra attack for that too. Along with these constellations of these chakras building, the resolve building faster. And then the Booba Sword attacks will ignore 60% of defense. Those three things, okay? Getting the character, getting C1 and C2, and getting her weapon. Right? She builds the resolve faster from the chakras. She ignores 60% of defense. And then her weapon, attack increased by 28% of energy recharge over the base 100%. You can gain a maximum bonus of 80% attack, and this is refinement rank 1. But then you also gain 30% energy recharge for 12 seconds after using an elemental burst. And oh, by the way, the weapons, one of the weapons based stats is also energy recharge on top of that. Let's compare that to the remaining constellations. We have a skill level increase. We have a support that gives other people, not her, but other people on the team an attack plus 30% for 10 seconds. Which, by the way, I'm not saying that's terrible, but is it worth that? Another skill level increase, which you can do just by playing the game. And then this one's pretty good, but really you're capped at 5, like cutting down the cooldown, but you're capped at 5 seconds off. Taking 5 seconds off. It's not terrible, but I don't know if that's worth a C6. Something to think about. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. If you have a different opinion, let me know about it. We can talk about it in the comment section below. Assuming I don't just magically get to like 50,000 subscribers overnight over this video, which probably ain't gonna happen, I guarantee you I'm going to respond to your comments. I do this because it's fun to interact with people, right? So if you're watching the video and if you disagree with me, don't, by all means, leave a dislike if you dislike the video. Up to you. But tell me why you dislike it. Let's have a, like, if you disagree with something, let's have a conversation about it. If you like the video, leave a like, consider subscribing, only if you enjoyed the video, okay? Don't subscribe just because you're feeling bad for me. Okay? If you enjoyed the video though, by all means, please subscribe and stay a while. Until next time, guys, this has been Solid Shepard, and I should go.